everybody. Good morning. It is 8:06. Rise and shine. This is Coffee Talk. I'm West 2 First Warning Meteorologist Eric Burris. So, truth be told, I have been talking for the last 6 minutes. And when I finally got around to look at comments, it occurred to me that I thought I hit start streaming, but I missed the button. To say that that's low-key embarrassing is true. But I'm going to take everything I said in the last 6 minutes to myself, and I'm going to share it with you again. My apologies. Anyway, good morning, everybody. This is Coffee Talk, where sometimes I don't click the button, and I thought that I did. Hi, Gewaltismeer. Have you enjoyed the heat? It has been so blasted hot the last couple of days, and once again today, we're calling for impact weather. Gotta love that. Yep, impact weather. Yeah, I love it. I don't really love it, but here we are. Yeah, gross heat, intense heat. Feels like temperatures once again today, running 105 to 110. It's going to be another very hot day in Central Florida. Heat advisories are posted once again, running up to about 110 degrees. Yep. So much fun. So much fun. Hold on that. I brought that in. I wanted to show you something, and I can share it with you in just a little bit. But yeah, feels like temperature's running 110 degrees again today. When we talk about records, let's just look at yesterday's numbers, all right? Didn't get to any records yesterday, but oh, were we close, right? It was a gross day. The last couple of days have been that way. 97, 98 degrees. How does today shape up for us? Let's take a look around Central Florida, all right? So we're forecasting 96 in Orlando, 97 in Sanford, 96 in Claremont, 97 in Kissimmee, and even our beachside spots are going to be running in that kind of mid-90s regime. So yeah, it is absolutely going to be hot. Yep, it's going to be a hot one. It's going to be a hot one. Yep. Yep, that's the fun we get to enjoy. I was up in the helicopter yesterday. Now we do have thunderstorms in the forecast today, so let's do this. There's today. Let's pull up Futurecast, and then I want to share with you a report I broadcast yesterday from the helicopter. All right, Futurecast. Here we go. Let's look at today's rain opportunities. By lunchtime, starting to see a few showers popping up. Notice 2, 3 o'clock bubbling up. 4, 5 o'clock storms around. 6, 7 starting to fade. So not as many storms as yesterday, not lingering as late as last night. Was feisty, wasn't it? So what I want to do, and of course I did not set this up ahead of time, but what I want to do is I want to share with you, hold on. What I want to do is share with you this video source, okay? And I want to hit properties. I want to share with you this video, and I want to also talk a little bit about, let's just say, beach safety. All right, so let's take a listen to this, and we can chat a little bit more about what happens. But basically, I was at the beach yesterday covering the heat, and a thunderstorm started to develop like right over the beach. And I'm like, all right, so let's pivot. We're going to be talking about lightning and beach safety and all that fun stuff. And what ended up happening was lightning struck very near the helicopter. So
yeah, you know, it's kind of interesting, Tony, because
we were far enough away. Don't get me wrong, but it was close enough. I should say it didn't strike close to the helicopter. It struck close to some of the beachgoers. We were keeping at a very safe distance. But take a listen, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of interesting, Tony, because this is a thunderstorm that is building very close to the beach, and there are so many tourists that are still in the water. Now, there's not a ton of people, but let's go from that shelf cloud, and let's just kind of pan down the shoreline. And I want to try and have photojournalist Maria Comaford, zoom in if you could and just kind of show there's those folks right in the water. Remember, if your toes are touching the water, you're in danger. And the problem here, look at this. You know, they could be tourists that don't know just how much danger they're in. And it is just, if I could scream out the window of the helicopter and tell them to get out, I would, honestly. Whoa! Okay, I don't know if you just saw a lightning struck probably a mile from that location. I would suspect that the people are probably going to need, yeah, all right, at least I could see out the window. People are walking. Lightning struck just outside. So let's do this. Let's take our first warning live Doppler radar, and I've got it kind of positioned just to show the little dots. And right in here, if you can see, that's the dot right there, okay? That dot right there, just at the beach on weather source number 4. That dot there, that was probably 3 miles away from the thunderstorm itself. And you can see I'm going to just move this to the most recent scan, and you can see that one dot right where it says Daytona Beach. That's the lightning strike. I saw it right outside of the window of the helicopter. We're at a safe distance, and it's important to note that, but the people that are on the water, in the water, are absolutely not. And it was only a few weeks ago that a gentleman lost his life just a few miles from here in New Smyrna Beach. So back out live. This is the scene. My goodness gracious, the cheesy saying goes, when the thunder roars, head indoors, but for goodness sake, get out of the water. It's summertime, and if I could do anything, I would be talking to the folks down there at the beach. So that's the scene here for right now. Thunderstorms in Central Florida can be deadly if we don't handle them properly. We're going to continue to monitor the very latest, but for now, live over the Main Street Pier in Daytona Beach, covering Volusia County, I'm meteorologist Eric Burris, WESH 2 News.
All right, so that's that. um, I wanted to share it because it was one of those situations where it's a good reminder, right? Like we weren't out there to track storms at all, but storms started firing up, right? And so because of that, we started to pivot. And there's our live radar, like it's nice and quiet right now. We started to pivot, but I was shocked, and I could see it looked like beach safety was trying to get people the heck out of Dodge. You know what I mean? I could see that it looked like beach safety was trying to get everybody the heck out of Dodge. But those tourists were just kind of standing there. And so, anyway, I wanted to share that because for those of us that enjoy the beach, that enjoy the water, you know, when you've got a day like today where there's storms in the forecast and it's hot, even if there's not a ton of storminess in the forecast, yeah. And with that west southwest wind, everything's going to move from the Gulf side to the Atlantic side. So, where is it all going to end up going? The beaches, our East Coast beaches. That's where it all ends up going, right? It also ends up doing that, you know, kind of later in the day. So, it's something to keep in mind. Today, we have Crew 11. There is a crewed launch from the Kennedy Space Center. 90% chance of good weather. That launch window opens up in the lunchtime hour. I'll be with you today on the air for WESH 2 News at noon. I'll be in the studio. I wish I was out at the launch pad, but I digress. 90% chance of good weather, as I just showed on Futurecast. It looks like we're going to be pretty okay by lunchtime. It's going to be a little bit later that we get those thunderstorms kind of firing up, right? So that's kind of where we're at today, okay? All right, let me pop up the 7-day forecast and then we can chat. Any questions, comments, concerns you have about our local forecast, and then we can go out and start looking at the tropics. Dangerous heat these next few days. Take it easy if you have to work or do anything outside, okay? Yeah. All right. And as we pop up the 7-day forecast, let's look and see the comments. Good morning, everybody. Let's see here. 3 people were struck at the St. Augustine Pier last week. I didn't see that, Jay. I did not. Ugh, I hate to see that. Jay Griffith spent the weekend in Iceland last weekend. The 55-degree temps were a nice change. I'd say that was a shock to the system. Nautilus weather station in Eustis had a 63 mile per hour wind gust at 6:45 p.m. Where can I send it to the National Weather Service? So weather.gov, and then what I would do is I would go in and type in Eustis in there, find out what weather service office covers you, Tampa or Melbourne. Then once you get to their website, you can send them an email. The information is right there on the homepage. Yeah. Oliver said had another nasty one roll through Oviedo last night, dropped a ton of rain and had a lot of lightning. There has been a lot of stormy weather for sure. Yeah. Thought the heat was going to be over with today. Jessica says, as models update data, look, forecasts are an imperfect science, right? Think about what we're doing. I get your point though. Tim says I'm in Cleveland, Ohio to tour a Viking cruise ship on the Great Lakes today, hoping for good weather. I have no idea what's happening up there. We could look at WLWT. That's Cincinnati, though. That's all I got for you. Matt says Mount Dora had a pretty feisty storm just after midnight. I was too tired to get up and look at the radar. I get you. I get you. Yep. So fun. So fun. And Annie says I want winter. Yeah. Oliver says I'm glad I got my cigar in before the storms. I was almost done when I heard the lightning warnings. Listen, listen. It was always good weather for a good cigar. I haven't had a cigar in 15 years, but imagine sitting outside and listening to a storm while smoking a cigar is not bad. Decent thunderstorm woke me up in Eustis around 12:30. Lucas says, "Yeah, there were some feisty ones." Janice says, "Bring on October." I know. All right, tropically speaking, let's take a look at the satellite, see what we got. All right, first and foremost, here. Yeah, that's fine. Hold on a second. It's thinking. The computer's thinking. I made it think early this morning. It doesn't like that. All right. Tropically speaking, there is really nothing going on. I want to take you over here to the coast of Africa. We'll zoom in a little bit. Let it go buffer the higher resolution tiles. Little wave coming off the coast of Africa, something to watch. This time of year, we do need to start watching that area more, right? As we get less and less Saharan dust and more of that monsoonal flow. So rolling off the coast, something. I would add, don't think that just because it looks like it has decent convection that it's going to boom up a storm. These things have to get their sea legs. So it's not like it's just going to pop, right? So, in terms of the entire Atlantic basin, there is no development expected over the next 7 days' time. But as we've said, beyond the next 7 days, August 6th through the 12th, we do have to watch the area kind of a little closer to home. So let's pop up the raw model data and let's kind of see what it's saying. So for right now, we're looking pretty okay. By Sunday, Monday, there's just sloppy weather for Florida, right? And for that matter, much of the deep south. Louisiana, Mississippi, Florida panhandle, you can kind of see where it's developing some sort of an area of low pressure along the northern Gulf Coast and maybe some stuff off the eastern seaboard. Basically an old front that's just going to bubble around. All right? Nothing significant showing up. And by the way, if I may back this up just a little bit, right? Like there's a lot of high pressure and control Wednesday, Thursday. Based on this right here, you're looking at Tuesday, August 12th, another heat wave for Central Florida, which bleh. Now, do you remember when there were people that were like, hurricane signal? GFS doesn't have it. You remember that when people were saying that? Hurricane signal. This is why you consider your source. Okay, so the GFS is showing whole lot of nada. High pressure and control. This is the deterministic single run. I know. Let's go back. Let's look at the European. All right. Sunday, Monday, again, showing some broad area of low pressure, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. Probably not going to be anything to really watch, but low pressure, kind of crummy weather. Here's the Euro you can see out there near the Lesser Antilles, kind of showing a something. Nothing significant, but a something. All right. Coming through around Hispaniola around Monday, August 11th, kind of hanging around Cuba the 13th. Nothing strong. But at the very end of the European, it's hanging out in the open waters of the Gulf. Nothing crazy there. Something. Something of an area of low pressure. We go out to the full basin view. Couple areas. Nothing significant, right? All right, let's switch over to the Euro deterministic model. I'm sorry, the Euro AI model. Something around Louisiana, something east of us. A little something there east of us. Toward the end, around the 15th. Now, in terms of intensity, tropical storm. But again, important to note, that is one run of one model. That's the Euro AI. It did well last year, but it's one run of one model. Now, there's going to be the hypers that are like, hurricane signal. What? Oliver says the hypers are still trying to hype the hype weather, even the hyperist of, yeah, yeah. Maybe this will be the year with no hurricanes. Has that ever happened? It's not going to be the year with no hurricanes. It's just not. That's really hard to do. All right, let's look at the ensembles. Remember, this is the GF. So this is the GFS ensemble. GFS runs and then it reruns 30 different times. Starting to see some ensemble members around the 11th, 12th, with activity from the Caribbean to the Gulf to the Atlantic. So no consistency on where anything would be, other than as to say, probably going to see some form of something somewhere, right? So around the 13th or the 14th, tropical activity probably is going to be happening from the Gulf to the Caribbean to the Atlantic. Well, that's not telling us much. At this point, that's all we can do. All right, that's the GFS ensemble. Let's look at the European ensemble. Some ensemble members wanting to do something off the mid Atlantic around early next week, which is exactly why we've got that area kind of east of us highlighted for next week. There's the Euro ensemble members showing up. Yep. Again, from the Gulf. Now, one ensemble member is getting really feisty. Pow pow. Bad. That one member was at a 941 low. Yeah, no thanks. But that's the minority. The fact of the matter is that ensembles are showing something. That's all you read into that. All right. All right. Let's look at the Euro AI ensemblage. Showing a couple homegrowns around the 10th, perhaps. And then there's the Hornet. Yeah, from the Gulf to the Caribbean to the Atlantic. So around August 12th, 13th, 14th, there is ensemble support that there could be something. That doesn't mean that there's going to be 30 hurricanes. No. It means that there are 30 members of the European AI model saying there may be something somewhere here. Okay, these are meteorological tools that we use behind the scenes to give an idea of what's happening. Okay? Jamie Lopez also says people need to remember this is 300 plus hours from now. That is correct. We're looking for trends. Trends are your friends. We're looking at consistency throughout the different models, which we are somewhat seeing. So confidence is building that week two, week two slash week three of August may have something to track in the tropics. For now, the more immediate thing is going to be like east of us, and we saw some ensemble support for something kind of working up the mid Atlantic. That would be the recycle of Chantal, right? But more specifically, if we want to get into the specificity of things, there is no tropical development expected over the next 7 days' time. And that is the biggest one, okay? I will always show you the ensembles. I will give you the meteorological constraints of what it can do. Okay, we're going to look at the model data together, but I'm not going to hype it. Okay. So what you're saying is there could be something developing mid-August. Doesn't that happen every year? Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. This is no surprise. All right. Excellent. Excellent. News reports say a cluster of swarm of hurricanes to arrive. Yeah, jeez Louise, no. Oh my gosh, Cindy, 30 hurricanes. Can you imagine the hypers on that? I can't. I can't. I just can't. Yeah. Yep. All right. Betty Davis is asking, what causes the spinach required for hurricanes? That's a great question. It's actually the Coriolis force, or the actual spin of the Earth. Um, Go Google Coriolis force sometime. It's fantastic. It's amazing. And that's why you can't get a hurricane right at the equator. It's got to be a little north or a little south of the equator. That's also why it's different, northern hemisphere versus southern hemisphere. I love it. All right. Well, Cole's asking Dexter. Yeah, so the next name would be Dexter. I'm not saying anything. This is going to be Dexter because that's another one of my pet peeves. But the next name on the list is Dexter. Wherever, whenever that happens. This is Dexter to be. It's like cringe. And this hunger to become like click relevant has taken meteorologists in some cases. Dexter to be. How did that work out for you last time? All right. Questions, comments, concerns, my friends. Just keep on keeping on. Yeah. Heard La Nina could return toward the latter part of the year. Is that still up in the air? Or, yeah, I mean, it's a possibility. Doesn't look like it would be strong if it does, but that is absolutely a possibility. Last year at this time, Debbie was forming. Listen, most of our stuff gets going August, September, October. So we're yeah, we're watching it. No hurricane at the equator. Good place to live beachside. Oh yeah, GD Rowan, that would I mean, yeah, that would be correct. Debbie says, "Wait, what? The earth spins?" I know. I know. I know. Lady Silver Wolf on YouTube. I love your coffee talk and appreciate all you do. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Chris is asking, is there a difference in heat lightning and storm lightning? Yes, heat lightning is not a thing. I know it's going to take a minute. Take a minute to accept that. All heat lightning is a thunderstorm way away from you. But yeah, there's all it is a thunderstorm far away, and all you're seeing is like the distant stuff. So yeah, there is a difference between heat lightning and storm lightning because heat lightning doesn't exist. Ha, that's funny, Oliver. Thank you. James says on Facebook, I love all the social media people who take that one model run that makes the potential look like the end of the world. I know. I know. It's true. But lightning is hot. Hotter than the surface of the sun, as a matter of fact. Good times, you guys. Good times. All right. Questions, comments, concerns. So, what have we discussed here? We've discussed, let's do a summary, right? Betty Davis, I did the same thing. All right. So, let's discuss. It's still going to be hot. Storm chances are rising into this weekend, which are going to help to bring the temperatures down. The tropics are quiet the next 7 days. Beyond 7 days, tropics may start to wake up. August, the tropics should really start to wake up. Should we be terrified? No. Are we going to be having things to track? Yes. Jeffrey, you mentioned in April some model that lows would form in certain weeks during the season and possible impact zones. How are we looking for that? Yeah, that's all a part of the WESH 2 hurricane season forecast. comes out around March the 1st this year. I think it came out a day early. We did it in February, but I digress. Yeah, it gives us kind of time frames to watch. And it's still up on our website, Wesh. If you look on the homepage, wesh.com, and if you look for this logo, that's there where you can click on it, right? But in terms of the pieces, the parts, the impact areas, there was a low on October 26th. Watching kind of the northern Gulf, right from Louisiana through the Florida West Coast, around August 2nd through the 7th. Let me come over here. Let's go back to the regular GFS for a moment. We'll switch over to the Gulf. Pressure anomaly. August, what was it? 2nd through the 7th? Let's go back. Let's watch. There's August 3rd. The blues are lowered pressure. That's August 3rd. What do we have highlighted there? The Gulf Coast over to the Florida coast. Where is there lowered pressure? The northern Gulf Coast. So, yeah, everything is playing out how we suspected. It's again, that's not hurricaning, but it's an area of low pressure. We're identifying parts of the broader weather pattern here. So glad it's not hurricaning, but there is a direct play out of our hurricane season forecast. So we haven't generated the hurricanes yet. Super okay with that. But what I've done in that hurricane season forecast is I've identified parts of the weather pattern that cycle through, right? And again, all you have to do is on the main page, wesh.com, it's kind of toward the right side, scroll down a little bit. The 2025 hurricane season forecast, it sits there for your access, for your information, right? All right. Questions, comments, concerns? Nautilus, Gulf is the top hotspot for what? The fourth year so far? It's, yeah, I mean, I'd have to go back and look, but yeah. The Gulf is the hotspot. All right. All right. It is 8:33. I've got stuff to do. If anybody is looking for news to watch today, that's not Central Florida, might I suggest watching our sister station, WCVB News Center 5 today at noon. If you're just looking for something new. All right? If you're looking for something fun, fresh, WCVB News Center 5. I'm gonna be doing the news at Wesh, but I'm gonna be watching WCVB News Center 5 today. Marianne says Florida is Floridaing. That's right. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Anything? Yukon's asking, where is that station out of? WCVB News Center 5 is out of Boston. It's one of our sister stations. Boston, Massachusetts. Where is that station? All I'm saying is if you were looking for something fun to watch that's new and beautiful, Jamie and Bruce, maybe. And it's also kind of fun because they're call letters. CVB, Channel 5 Boston. Get it? WCVB, Channel 5 Boston. So if you're looking for something fun to watch, that's what I'm going to be watching today. All right? All right. Listen, be the sunshine in someone else's day, would you? Melissa, what did I do? We'll have to see. All right. Be well. I'll see y'all later. Kathy Joe. I'll see y'all later. Take care. Mike. Bye.